CD, that's debatable. Now, I will prefer putting my money is let's take the annuity out of it, okay? I'll prefer putting my money in a mutual fund. Okay. Now, why would I like to put my money in mutual fund or the market for that matter? Is because historically, let's say just for the last 30 years, the S&P has, and you could look this up as well, right? The S&P has given back an average of a little bit over 10% rate of return, right? So naturally, as humans, the market, if you take a spaceship view, it's been going up, okay? But if you want to narrow it down, you see the oscillations. Our human characteristics, we like to take the magnifying glass and only point out the negative aspects of the market. Look, since the inception of the market, it's been up 74, I believe, in 74% of the time. There's been more bear markets than there are bull markets. What I mean by bear markets, that the market's going up and it's strong, versus bull markets, bear markets when it's going down. Did I answer your question?
Always mute, because I like to talk on the side. I do have one question for you. This is from Facebook Live. The person said, how can you take advantage of the current oversupply in the petroleum industry? I don't know what that means.
that right there, that's a spectacular question. But what I will say in my defense is that I really don't focus, or I really haven't dabbled in that industry. So I don't want to give you I could give you an answer, which I think it is, but I don't want to give you an answer and you'll try to take that and run with it, right? And it doesn't work out for you, right? But what I will say is that all prices are at its all-time low. You could get on one of these, Spider or Acorn devices, and you could, buy into, Exxon. You could buy into, Shell or what have you, or crude oil, which is, I believe that's categorized as a commodity, right? I don't get into commodity trading like gold or silver and oil for that matter.
But you know somebody who can.
Yeah, I do know somebody that can, you know.
So I have a question, David, right? On the line, we do have quite a few college students. And they're at the cusp of their new lives. And of course, this unexpected has come out and kind of thrown them for a loop. And this is new for everyone, right? So some of the advice that they're getting it from a variety of resources. And so they're at a loss now in terms of where do I go next financially? What do you think about things like real estate, or, where would you tell a college student who's now leaving, who probably doesn't have a job offer, or now if they do have a job offer, are now looking at this uncertain times and trying to decide what to do next financially? What would you recommend?
Okay, great question. And I was hoping somebody would ask me that question, right? So for the college students, I was once there, right? And I thoroughly, vividly remember the gut churning roller coaster. What I will say is this: times have dramatically changed. Okay, companies used to be loyal to the employees back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Okay, I say that because I don't want somebody to get their hopes up high and say, hey, I want to retire with this company. They need me, because no company needs you. Okay. We're all disposable. Okay. What I will recommend is, one, don't be scared. Do a side hustle, create a business. Okay. That's one. Search deep down inside. Now, when I say business, okay, I want to draw from my grad degree. When I say business, find a problem that's out there, create a solution, and present that solution. Okay, that's where you're going to carve out a niche market. That's business 101. All right. Um, if you have a little savings, okay, first thing you need to do is learn how to pay yourself. I know you're going to have debt and everything, but you got to pay yourself first. Because a lot of people my age and a little bit older, what we're realizing right now, thank God it's not me, is that, hey, this is extraordinary times. I don't have any emergency savings. A couple people have been furloughed from their jobs. That means they're not getting paid. Okay. And they have mortgage and everything to pay. You need to build up your short-term emergency funds. You have to have a midterm bucket. You also have to have a long-term bucket. And the great thing about people that's coming out of college is like, look at the two generations before you, okay, or the baby boomers, okay. A lot of our baby boomers, um, we're still working. That's not right. We're supposed to be in our golden years to retire and live our life. So start saving for your retirement now. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in my early 20s. Retirement is so far. But let me tell you something that my mom told me, okay? And many wise people tell me, years fly by like this. Okay. I thoroughly remember when I'm 21 I'm 38, turning 39 now. Okay. Yeah, guess what? Years become a blur. You want to set aside savings. Okay. Invest in the market. Right now is a perfect time to take advantage of this market. Why? Everything is on sale. Okay, your money will go longer in this market than it is if the market just all of a sudden raises. Okay, you ever heard of a rising tide raise all ships? That's exactly what kind of market that we're in right now. The tide is low, the tide will raise once again, and the ships will be your account value. All right, let's talk about real estate a little bit. Okay, um, we're hearing things that, okay, let's get into real estate investing, let's buy a small house and rent it out. The money is going to come in. Okay, there's pros and cons about buying real estate. If you want to buy commercial properties, that's great. If you want to buy multi-door units, that's also great because you're going to get rent coming in. When you buy single family household, guess what? You're going to have to deal with tenants. If things, and you're definitely going to have money saved, because if anything breaks in the house, guess who's going to have to fix it? You're going to have to fix it. Okay. So what I want you to do, if you're very gun-ho about real estate, pay attention to the real estate market. Okay. Right now is not the time to buy. Okay. Look more towards the end of this year and next year, because there's something happening in the real estate market that the bubble is going to pop, and then the market is going to go what? Down. That's your entrance into buying real estate. Okay. Now, if you want to buy a property and hold on to it, that's about the smartest thing that you could do as well. Okay. Because again, the real estate market is going to come back up. And if you want to sell the property, go ahead and sell the property and take the earnings and invest it in something else. Okay. Did that answer the question?
Well, I'm hoping one of them will chime in, but I know for myself, I like investing in real estate.
Hmm.
But again, you made some valid points in terms of some of the upsides and the downsides that would be associated with that. And, being able to also be very mindful of timing, waiting until this
Yes.
bubble bursts
Yes.
before doing that investment. And then even then being careful of the actual property I purchase at that point.
Yes. What I recommend, just like what I recommend when you're investing money as well into the market, you want to partner up with somebody that you click with. Okay. A reliable and trusted person. Okay. The reason why I say that is because you don't want to partner with somebody that will just give you air candy. You want to partner up with somebody that will give you the truth about a property. Okay. And have your interest at heart and not their pocket's interest at heart.
And by that person, you're talking about a realtor.
Yeah, a realtor or a financial advisor.
Okay.
You're right. But pay attention to the real estate market. I'm not saying there's a bad market not to get into it. Okay. Because myself and my spouse, we do own properties as well. I'll just say be conscientious about when you're going to, buy into a property, and keep in mind, find out why you want to invest. okay? Because you can't aimlessly throw darts at a dartboard. You have to find out exactly what you're throwing that dart to. Like, if anybody played darts before, there's a whole bunch of numbers and stuff like that, and you're supposed to hit a certain number to win the game, okay? That's the same thing with investing. Find out why you want to invest, how much money are you willing to invest. If you haven't invested before, just put a little bit of monies in there. Get your feet wet, okay? And then what your advisor, whether it's a real estate or your financial advisor, what they're supposed to do is educate you, okay? Because we have a whole slew of knowledge, all right? I don't just want to say, hey, hold my hand, we're just going to go right into the dark. No, I want to shed light so you're able to see where you're going to step next.
So, David, I understand. I hope I understand that there's no stupid questions. Okay.
No stupid questions.
Good, because I'm about to ask one. All right. So, so I'm thinking, the basic advice a lot of people give is at least for financial smartness is to have at least 6 months in advance of your bills, right? So are you saying that, or are you saying that we should have that and still have money to invest? Because man, just having that 6 months, to be in a safe place. Right. I don't know how that leaves anybody much more money to invest, or you are investing some of that money.
Well, what I tell my clients, right, and every client is different. Okay, we build what's called a financial house. Okay, so when we talk about the financial house, when you're building an actual house, what's the first thing that you want to lay down when you're building an actual house? The foundation. Because if you have a faulty foundation, would you live in that house, Mr. Hector?
I would not.
Absolutely not. So when you're taking a look at your financial house, okay, and if you have dependents, your foundation, your financial foundation is life insurance. Okay, that's your foundation. Your first floor is the emergency fund. To what you were saying, yes, experts recommend 3 to 6 months, preferably 8 months of your living expenses. I'm not worried about cable bill or phone bill. No, food, light, shelter, water. I forget we're in Florida, so we pay water, right? So, and yes, is it tight? It's going to be tight. Of course, it's going to be tight, right? But I'm also saying that yes, we could squeeze out a little bit of those funds and invest it into a long-term play, right? So if I have a client that have no emergency funds at all, I want to focus on that. I'll put it in a money market, something that's very accessible. Okay, especially now. Look, people they're not working right now. Who knows when they're going to go back to work? So what liquid money do they have that they could use to keep their rent going on or mortgage, keep their lights, and most importantly, feed their children? The only way you're going to do that is with emergency funds. Okay. Well, we if I have to skip one of them, it'll be midterm funds, right? I'll have my emergency funds and my long-term funds. Okay. So my long-term funds for retirement. Look, when I retire, Mr. Hector, I don't want to go back to work. I'm done. I throw my apron in, right? I don't want to go back to that grill, right? So what do I have to do in order for me to retire and stay retired? Because retirement is not an age. Okay, for Social Security benefits, yeah, sure. But if we take a look at it, there's so many people on, that's receiving Social Security by baby boomers, right? I tell people my age and a little bit older than me, like, hey, don't depend on Social Security because it may not be there when we need it, right? So again, what can we do for ourselves to be less dependent on government programs if we can, or in conjunction with the government programs? Did I answer your question?
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think you have to be an educated consumer first. You really have to be educated in some of this stuff because, some people listen to this and they say, who has money to invest? Right. Like, that's the mentality sometimes. So it seems like we have to become smart or get an education about money and how do we grow money to invest.
Right. And I'm sorry to cut you, but I love what you just brought up, okay? Is being educated on how money works. All right. So much of what we're speaking about prior to this broadcast is our financial files. Where do we learn how to handle our monies? From our parents. So if our parents' financial blueprint is all messed up, guess what? Chances are our financial blueprint is going to be messed up. So we have to learn exactly how to handle money, how money works. Okay. And a lot of people say, well, what is the guy talking about? How money works? Yeah, there, money have rules to it. Okay. And the rule is that the affluent people know, but we don't know. And it's not being taught in school. So one of the rules is the rule of 72. Okay. So the rule of 72 goes like this. It's a old banking rule. And you could Google this as well. It tells you how many years it'll take your money to double given a certain interest. Okay. So let's just say I'm being generous and I want to give everybody on this broadcast $100,000, right? Not saying that I will, but I want to, right? So, Mr. Hector, I say, you put it into whatever bank you bank with. Let's just say you bank with, X bank, right? And they're giving you a 3% rate of return. Okay. So what you'll do, you'll divide 72 by the whole number three, and that's what, 24. Remember what the rule states, how many years it takes your money to double. So that's 24 years it'll take your 100,000 to double to 200,000. Look, I'm 30, might as well say 39. I'm 39 right now. Age is a number to me. I really don't care. I feel young, right? I'm 39. I don't have a lot of 24 years in my life to wait for my money to double. Okay, so let's just say that I give 100,000 to Miss Gina Ann, and she goes to one of these online banks and she's able to find something that's yielding 9% rate of return. I'm not 9%. I'm sorry, that's way too much, right? Let's say for an online bank, let's say 6% rate of return. Okay, now that 6% divided into 72 is what, 12 years. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so every 12 years, that 100 doubles to 200,000. Okay, so let's just say me, I want to put my money in a vehicle that, that's going to give me a conservative 9% rate of return. Everybody's going to look at me and say, well, David, where are you finding this 9% rate of return? What's this magic hat that you're looking? Well, if the market has been given an average of 10%, you know what? Yeah, long term, I could find that 9%. Okay, because it's the average. Some years it's going to be very high. The S&P had a return of 32% last year. Okay, it's down this year, obviously, but every year it's going to fluctuate. All right. So 9 divided into 72, or 72 divided into 9 is what? 8. Every 8 years, my 100,000 is going to double to 200, 400, 800, 1.6 mil, so on and so forth. So between the three of us, who do you think have the better vehicle to retire? I will say I have. Okay. So when it comes to, okay, where am I going to get this money to invest? Okay. Well, let's create a budget. We need to be better stewards with our monies. Okay. We need to create a budget. Nobody likes to do it. That's a forbidden word, right? Yes, we have debt. Great. That's not going anywhere, right? Unless you have a particular way how to pay it off, snowballing or debt stacking, right? But create the budget, cut out the fat out of your budget, get lean. If you really want to put away money, you have to get lean with your budget. What I mean by getting lean, do you really need to go out and eat? Can you buy food and can you cook at home? Hey, I'm a microwave chef. Nobody could tell me differently. Okay, that's why my kids don't like my eating, my food. Okay, but if you could take that money that you would otherwise go out and spend 40, 60, $80 for a family to eat, you could take that same money and invest that money monthly, systematically. Okay, did I answer your question to the best of
Yes.
your ability?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
And what I also want to say is that, look, money does not discriminate. Okay, we could be able-bodied, and I don't like to use disabled, right? I don't like to use that. Okay, or we could be non-able. Whatever
What we call
constraints.
temporary able body.
There we go. Because we're still all able to function. All right. So it doesn't matter what I do with my money versus what you do with your money. because money has one language. Okay. The only difference is, okay, how are we going to get that money if you're on a limited income, right? I think that's a valid
Yeah,
question, right?
absolutely.
So again, we're just going to have to um, just divvy exactly what's essential and what's non-essential. Okay. And I'm not using that because that's the go-to word nowadays, right? Given what we're going through. But the essential things, food, light, mortgage, rent, whatever, those are monies that you need to take care of. Everything else, if you want to go out and have fun, you know, could you not have fun 2 weeks out the month, and invest that money? Sure, you can. Right now, I'm not talking about like, hey, go down to your bank or go with one of these major financial institutions and invest a small portion of money, because I can tell you from firsthand experience, look, unless you're traveling with wads of monies, they're not going to look at us as potential clients, and that is where the financial system fails us. Okay, there's only a handful of companies, the one that I'm working with definitely, that where we bring the Wall Street services and products, and really share it with the mainstream families, because everybody deserve a chance to their financial freedom, right? So is
I like
that
what
is
you
that
said.
good enough?
I really like what you said, that it's hereditary. I had a mom who saved a lot of money, and I had a dad who just spent a lot of money. And that's where I feel like I fall right down in the middle. But you're right. I think it is hereditary for a lot of us, and I never
Right,
looked at it that way until tonight. So thank you.
right.
I
Hmm.
have two questions. I have three questions for you, okay?
Hmm.
Um, the first is it's about what is your opinion on investing in Cairo currency?
Okay.
What are your thoughts on investing solely in the S&P 500 versus investing in a target date index fund?
Hmm.
And the last one is on land, but I'll bring that up after because these two are commingled, basically. So,
Okay. Let me start with the crypto stuff. Okay. Um, and we can also bring forex stuff into it as well. Um, Call me old school, right? I used to do forex trading when I worked at Morgan Stanley in New York, for clients. Um, it's That's a fad right now. Okay, what do I mean by that? That's the in thing. Okay. Um, what a lot of people don't understand about that, and notice on social media, you don't see a lot of people talking about forex and cryptocurrency right now. Why? Because it's not doing well. Okay, it's not tested. S&P, that market has been tested since before 1934. From 1934 till now, it's been tested numerous of times. It's earned its battle scars. Cryptocurrency, that's not regulated, okay, like the S&P 500 market is. Okay, what I mean by regulated, notice in 2009 was the best time to buy into the whole Bitcoin cryptocurrency thing. Why? Because that's when it was in its infancy. That's when you could have got in there for a very little bit amount and rode the wave up before what it crashed and went all the way down. It went up to what, like 20,000 or whatever. Then it went all the way down to 3,000. Now I don't know where it is because honestly I don't follow it. But you don't hear people ranting and raving about it. Okay, it start falling because I forgot what country was the first country to ban it, and then the Koreas banned it, and then Japan, then India banned it. U.S. hasn't regulated it. So with that, once you get more regulations on it, it's not going to be as appealing, right? The IRS don't know how to tax it. Believe me, the government wants its cut, right? If you know what you're doing in it, by all means, you know what you're doing in it, right? But I like to, I like to invest in something that has been time, proven. Okay. I will assimilate that to, like, if you're going deep sea diving, do you want to work with a company that's reputable and has been doing it for many years? You know that if you go down, your tank is not going to implode, right? Or your tube is not going to, malfunction. Or do you want to go with a new company that hasn't been tested and they just want to start testing things out? No, deep dive and no, that's my life, you know. So let's go into what was the second question? I'm sorry about that. The S&P.
It was the S&P, the target date index, S&P
Yes.
versus index funds.
Okay. So the target date index funds, I'm going to assimilate that to like when you're doing your 401k, you have your target index funds. Um, I, I have my dislikes with that. Again, everybody is different, you know. The one thing I'll say about that is that um, you don't really have say in what that's invested in. So let's just say you have a targeted index fund for 2045. So you're putting your money in there and it's going to mature, let's say mature in 2045 when you retire. It could be doing well, it cannot be doing well. You just don't know. You can't move around your monies. You can't take advantage of certain dips. Okay. When you're in the when you're doing your investments with, let's say, like the mutual funds or individual stocks, so to speak, right? You're able to go in there and make changes, right? You're in control of that. The target date index funds, you're not in control. Now, am I opposed to index funds, just regular index funds? No, I'm not opposed to regular index funds. Some works with some people's investment philosophies. Some, it doesn't work. So again, that harps back to what is your overall stomach of the market? What is your objective of what you want your money to do for you? I tell you what, you'll get a better return. And I just did this for a client yesterday. You'll get a better return outside a target date index fund by investing in, just a regular mutual fund, or if you want to go into stocks.
The next question is, I would like to invest money in land. Where would I start? I said, I think this may be a great time due to what is going on because my money has strict rule and I'm a saver and have taught my children and they were prepared for a time such as this.
Awesome.
And she said she'd also like to invest in Disney at this time.
Yeah, that's great. um, Disney is great. I can't give my recommendations or advice right now. But everybody goes to Disney. I think this is the third time in Disney's existence that it's closed down. But whether times are good or bad, guess what? You're still going to have visitors at Disney, right or wrong. You know. So I'll say that's a good play. I would do it, right? In regards to land, um, from what I know, is land doesn't fluctuate as much as if you get a hard asset like a house, right? Land, in my opinion, is a good buy because you can hold on to it, you can lease your land, right? Or you hold on to it for a long period of time, and let's say Orlando, the area that I'm living, it is just growing. Okay, there's people, chopping down trees. Imagine if you own one of the lands, one of these marshlands or whatsoever that these companies want to build their house on. You know how much money you could get off of selling that? Again, but you're going to have to be knowledgeable in that way. You're going to have to get with a trusted real estate person to guide you, hold your hand in buying land. So yeah, that gets a thumbs up for me.
Hello, I have a question.
Yes.
So I'm a college student
Hmm.
and I'm about to graduate and getting into the market and trying to figure out my own finances.
Right.
So my question is basically, what are the big like no-nos or the big mistakes that people often make with money um, that we should look out for? Because when I
Hmm.
think about there's a lot of talk about right now about like how to start and then what to do, but then often what comes along is that long term people might make a mistake or and then just lose it all or something. So what
Right.
how do we protect ourselves and what are the big no-nos that we should be looking out for?
All right. First, what are you studying in college? Let me ask that.
Study chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering. Better you than me, right? Um, so, what are some no-nos? First, when you graduate, I definitely want to welcome you to life, right? Because no matter how you want to plan it out, it doesn't go as planned. Okay. So, what you're going to have to learn quickly is to you're getting a whole lot of controlled. Okay, you're in chemical engineer, right? I got a C in high school in chemistry, right? So hopefully I get you good graces, right? You're in a controlled environment right now. Okay, so you're learning a lot of theory. Okay, but theory, when it comes to reality, reality is very ugly. Theory doesn't really have its place in reality. So the reason why I bring that up is because you're going to have to know how to roll with the punches. You're going to have to be adaptable. You're going to have to be a chameleon. Okay. So let's say, where do you learn how to put your money or how to save? Um, I will say this, that, you know, I pray to God that you do get a job right in the field of study that you're doing. Okay. But when you get your money, save. Don't spend it. Who cares what you have? The best advice that I got from one of my very first client when I worked at Morgan Stanley in the city, he said, "Hey, David, you're going to come into monies, right? Keep in mind, people want to spend your money." And what he meant by people want to spend your money is that you're going to want to try to buy things to impress people. You know what I mean? So the one mistake that I'll try to advise you not to make is be careful how you spend your money. I'm not telling you don't spend your money, just be careful on how you're spending your money. For instance, me, I want to spend my money. I want to put my money into something that's going to make me money. Okay, that's what I want to do. Another thing that I recommend: read. Okay, not novels, not novelas. You know, read books to improve your mental space. What often happens is when we leave college or when we leave grad school, we don't want to read. We don't want to improve ourselves anymore. Okay, so there's a couple of books. Relentless by Tim Grover. Okay, there's another books. Um, Secret of the $1 Million Mindset by T.R. Eckert, right? Those are books that actually expand my mindset, and I'm able to make, better decisions or better choices. Am I answering your question, or did I just take a tangent and run with it? Be
No,
honest.
um, I think also partially because I think that these are in general like very good is good advice, but I think I'm also looking for like is there something that like there's like a there like there's a trap or something that people often fall into that that we might need to look up first. So something along the line. I'm not sure, but it's
I think I know where you're going with this. Um, but if you're looking for a silver bullet, I don't have a silver. Nobody has a silver bullet.
no, not a silver
You know.
bullet, but more so
Um,
just like how just things that we should that I guess you are answering it in a way because reading the books would solve it because it all comes down to decision making,
right. Yes.
correct?
That is very true. It all
Can,
comes down to decision making.
can I say one thing?
Uh huh.
This is I had another life in this field, and the one thing I would tell all of you, especially coming out in life, and Dave, you know this because we work together, is find a banker and find an investment advisor. Because a lot
Yes.
of times you think you know and you don't know. Because even though you read things all over, find someone you can trust that can direct your steps. And what Dave has been doing is actually directing us with some knowledge. But find the person that you find a banker, you start out, you open a checking account or whatever, finances, you get a new job. Sit down with someone that's not somebody you work with, that this is what they do. Just like you're a chemical engineering or whatever field you're going into, you're an expert in that field. Somebody in finance, and he's different from a banker because he's in investments. That's a different person. Find someone that knows their craft and don't think you know the craft because we're
Right.
not experts in every field.
Right. And stay away. That I like to say, stay away from your uncle in the basement. You know what I mean? Well, what I like to say about that is that oftentimes, like, look, you will come up with a great idea, okay? And sometimes we want to go to, not sometimes, all the times we want to go to people that we have high credibility with, okay? Um, I don't want to scare you, but a lot of people, even people that you know, sometimes they get very, how can I put this delicately? I'm not. There some people don't want you to succeed because you're going to be doing better than them. And you're a mirror of them. Okay. So if you have an idea, yeah, I mean, you could ask for advice, but you discern. You go to a specialist, just like what Miss Gina Allen was speaking about. You go to a specialist in that field. If you want to start a business, you're not going to speak with an employee because an employee is not business savvy. Okay. They may know how to process for a business, but they don't know how to do the back end work. They don't know how to, get the certain networks to create your business. So speak to a business owner, chemical engineer. Hey, I won't say come to me for advice in regards to your field, because guess what? My field is about numbers. My field is about finance. You see what I'm saying? Ask yourself, Javanel, is that how you say your name?
Yeah, Javanil.
Javinel. All right. Please, and sorry to butcher your name a little bit. What I'll say is truly, even though you're getting into your field, have you done like internships in your field?
I've done research. Yeah.
Research, but no, have you worked with, have you done an internship, like a summer internship with a company in the chemical engineering field?
No, no.
You want to do that. Okay. The reason why I say you want to do that is because a lot of us, when we're young and when we're going through school, it's like, okay, we did 4 years of this work. We're going to get something is guaranteed at the end. Nothing is guaranteed at the end. If you don't do your internship and if you're not building a network, it's going to be a little bit challenging getting into the field that you really want to do. And I'm saying that from firsthand experience. I haphazardly fell into the financial service field. I really wanted to be a financial analyst on Wall Street. Thank God that didn't come to fruition because I'm happy and not content. I'm very happy in the field that I'm in right now. I'm helping out more families than I what would have done being a financial analyst, right? So you want to get a mentor, you want to get a coach, and same thing with your finances. You want to get a banker, you want to buddy up with that banker, ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. The person that thinks that there's a stupid question, I guarantee you they want to ask a question that could put them on the right path. you know um, Partner up with a financial advisor, that'll give you proper advice, that'll educate you on how money works, that'll educate you on the you know that'll give you budgeting advice, that won't lead you down a rabbit hole, right? Um, so yeah, that's what I have for you.
David,
Um,
I want to ask a couple of things, right?
uh-huh.
So I'm thinking, right, with and not just the college students, but everyone on here, you know, sometimes the biggest interaction I have with my bank is the ATM. I go and I pull some money and I go. Would it make sense to then, even at this age, to go in to a bank and start to develop a relationship with the bankers there, kind of chat with them,
Mhm.
give them an idea of what it is that you're looking, you're looking for in your future endeavors, and how could the bank play a role in that, maybe perhaps using that as guidance?
That is a great question. And that question I'll definitely tailor more so to Mr. Moses, right? But drawing off my experience in working in the bank under the mentorship and coach of Mr. Gary, is that yes, you want to. Now the bankers aren't just sitting in there just sitting there. They want to develop a relationship with their clients. Okay, the bank is just not some place that you just pour money into, all right, and then they take their fees. No, you develop your relationship, because what that could also do is, if you have a project that you need to work on in the future, building that relationship will carry you a long way, a very long way. So yeah, go in there, chat it up, say, hey, I've been here for so and so. I want your advice on this. Am I in the right checking account, or do I have the right savings? This is what I'm thinking of doing, right? Or you don't know. You will also want to build a relationship with the mortgage person that's in the bank as well. Notice that if you want information, the best place to get the information is with the people that's in your circles, that's working in the banking or financial service industry, because they also have networks. Because I will have network with other doctors and other lawyers because I have those as clients that I could connect you with, right? Bankers are great resources within the community that could network and link you up with other people.
That's really good advice.
And especially for business owners, because the person that you know will be, if you know your banker, you're apt to, they will work harder for you to get your lending
Yes.
needs. They'll connect you with the financial person that'll be able to do, sometimes you can use your financial person to get you lending on your money to get you needs that you wouldn't even know. And a lot of people don't know that.
Absolutely.
And you know, you did a lot of that as well. We know each other from another life.
Absolutely.
So,
So
and
I guess the main title here as well is networking. You know, networking is very integral. You know, money is great. Um, Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. Money is excellent as long as you know exactly what to do with it. You need to learn how to deal with money. You need to learn how money flows. Okay. What now? You're probably saying, "Oh, well, that's very catchy phrases." No, it's not catchy phrases. The affluent has been doing it for many, many years. You know, why can't we do it? The only reason why we're currently not doing it right now is because we haven't had somebody reach out to us from these major institutions and say, you know what, Mr. Hector, I need to sit down with you and make sure that you have a plan to get out of debt, or you have a plan to make sure that you're saving enough money to retire. Okay, so more so than none, we're left to our own devices to figure that out, right? So I'm hoping that I could corner myself or put myself in a position to be one of those resources. And like I was telling Miss Jean Ann, is that I could email how money work, booklet for my company, as well as the basics of investments to any and everybody that wants it. The only thing I'll need is just the email. I don't spam, believe me. But I'll just send you that booklet with my contact information if you
So
want
we can have everyone, David, we can have them just in the chat box, just put their email addresses and we'll capture that at the end and then we'll get that
Okay.
to you and you can get, or we can get that information out. Is that one way to do that?
Yeah, that'll be yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to make a comment on the bankers, and unfortunately, the way that this multi-billion dollar, $500 billion relief fund for the businesses, those that had a relationship with the bankers got the money, and those that didn't have a relationship, right now, they're out of luck.
Got a standard
and scrounging.
response. Got a standard response. Thank you for submitting your application.
actually, SBA is one of the most difficult loans to put in the system.
Yeah.
Whether you do SBA for the government or if you did a regular SBA loan, it is one of the most difficult loans to process. So
Yeah.
it's not always about that, honestly. And I'm not defending banks because I just know the truth, that side of the business.
that was a part of it also. I mean, we do recognize that was a part of it.
Well, Shake and Steak, whatever, no, Shake Shack actually gave back $10 million. It's actually the money went to the larger conglomerates more than it went to the little man. It wasn't the little man that took the money. It was the large conglomerates. The truth is that's who got the money. And I said I never would go to Shake Shack again, but I'm going to go because I really appreciate their care for the little guy.
So I want to thank everyone for tuning in so that we stay on task and
Emails.
on time, right? And I just want to thank you guys. David, I mean, you were awesome. All this information that we got, I'm sitting here now thinking maybe I should start looking at my money different because it's looking at me different. But I think that we may want to ask him to come back on Jean if he is open to that, because there's just so much information that I think that we still have, and maybe we can get some questions also and have those ready for him. But, thank you guys for tuning in to us. We are here, myself, Jean and Hector, and Norm, who is so faithful and caring too. But we've just actually taken a role in wanting to provide resources to the community with the COVID changes that we're experiencing. We certainly want to be a light to the community, and we're reaching out and inviting people. Let me unnet David because he got kicked off. And if you guys
sorry
can think
about
of
that.
any topics, we certainly invite anybody who's here, we invite your participation in the process. So if you'd like to come on and you think that and everybody has information, right? So if you have information and you'd like to be a part of the show, please let us know. Or if you have a topic that you want us to explore, please let us know.
Don't forget your emails, those of you on live as well as in the chat, okay? On the Zoom, but also those of you on the Facebook Live and YouTube Live, okay?
David, while you were off, we actually
Mhm.
committed you to another show. That was our plan, right? We planned to get you off so we can commit you again, right? So now you have to say yay because all eyes are on you, bud. You
Hey,
coming
let's
back?
do it.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for this. Hopefully, I answered everybody's question and I was able to be a great resource.
Good job.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for showing up today. Hope to see you for our next show. We're back on tomorrow. And Norm, you are on tomorrow, and you'll be talking about the numbers and how that may have changed since the last time, correct?
I don't want to do a whole thing on that, and maybe if we just have some conversation. But yeah, I'm really concerned with what's been happening with people going out. Beaches are opening up, and it's now a good old party time. And the curve, which has been going down, hopefully will not. And I've been doing a little bit of research on that. And
Hold that thought, Norm.
So everyone
Not
will
the
have
whole
to
show,
tune in.
maybe 10
Everyone
minutes.
will tune in tomorrow, and Norm will have lots to say. He'll tell you he won't do a whole show, but he will. And so he'll be here tomorrow and have all that information for us. Listen, everyone, have a great night. We love everyone. We care about everyone. Just, take care.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you.
Good night.
All right,
Thank you.
guys.
Have a good night.